California. Yep, that's where I am. Just double checking. Hope you've all had a super fantastic sparkling day. Welcome to Porch Light Letters podcast, number 2285, Moments in Motion. So today I had a full day here with family, and we started off with a quietish morning, and then the bike park opened at 10 o'clock. So we loaded up the boys and their bikes and Brandon and I went off with the boys to the park. Nadia had a girls' day, worked out going to some wineries in Temecula or something. She had a blast. So we went off with the boys to the park and walked through the park. It had, and the car park was packed. It was packed. There was a softball game going on, a baseball game going on, 2 soccer games going on, and also people that were in the bike park as well. So we had to walk past the softball players, past between the 2 soccer fields to get to the bike park. And it's all got the hills and the bumps and everything, and they've got different levels, so you can go jump over the humps and all that sort of stuff. And the kids went off on their bikes and did their thing, and Cohen had to stay near us because he had this little bike, and it was too much for him to go on the thing, so he just had to ride up and down. But then he got bored with that, so I took him over to the playground. Oh, they had a playground there too. We took him over to the playground, and he played on the equipment there for a little bit, and then he was saying, I'm hungry, Grandma. So I texted Brandon to let him know that he was hungry, and the boys and Brandon turned up at the playground, so we went and sat on a picnic table and in the shade, which was nice. And the boys had their snacks, and then we had plans to go to the bike store we're going to go to the bike store and drop the bikes off there for repairs, and then go over to the gaming store for whatever it was that they wanted. So we went to the bike store first to drop the bikes off, to find out it was closed and didn't open until 12, and it's like 11:30. And so then we thought, well, let's head over to the gaming store first, and then we'll come back to the bike store. So we went over to the gaming store. They didn't open until 12 either, and there was already a line of people standing out front. So we went and parked the truck, and so it was facing out and across this, and of course this parking lot was kind of full as well. And we're like, what's going on? I said, well, there's 2 stores down there that have got closing down sales going on. Then you've got the flea market across the road, and we were down a little bit from the flea market, but we saw this woman. I love to people watch, and so while the kids are quietly doing whatever they were doing in the background there, in the back of the car, we kind of just, although kept wanting to listen to music, and I got to listen to K-pop, soda pop, some sort of pop stuff going on, and I was sort of like, I am not impressed. And so I was sitting there, the kids were taking turns at choosing songs and stuff. So I was sitting there listening to whatever it was we were listening to, some sort of pop thing. This woman comes along, and she's got like this deep bin, about this deep. It looks like brass. It's got 2 carry handles on either end, and she had stuff in there, and then she had a plastic container on top that had stuff in it as well. And she gets to her car, which happened to be across and down from us, so we could clearly see what she was doing. Well, she put the containers down on the thing, opened the trunk of the car, proceeded to unload everything in the plastic container and hide it into different areas of the trunk. And I'm like, from here, I could see that if she put the brass bucket in there, the plastic container should next to it, and she wouldn't have to empty them. But no, she emptied the plastic one. And then she sort of like puts the plastic one down on the ground and looks at it like really puzzled, like, now what do I do with it? Then she starts on the brass one, empties everything out of that, and just tucks it away into different areas of the trunk. And I'm like, why doesn't she just pick it up and put it in the trunk as is? No, she emptied the whole thing into the thing. And then she takes this bag of bags, because here in California, they don't have the grocery bags anymore. You have to take your own bags with you. So she takes the bag of bags, puts it inside the brass container, lifts the brass container up, puts it into the trunk. And I'm like, and that achieved nothing. She still has a plastic container out. And so she's like shuffling stuff around in there, couldn't get the plastic container in there. And I'm like thinking, oh, jeepers. People need to, if you really want to pack a car and pack it well, learn to play the game Tetris. It will help you pack a car because you're looking for those spots that those odd shapes are going to fit. If you can play Tetris pretty well, then you should be able to pack very well. Ask me how I know. I've been doing it for years before the game even came out. My dad could always pack the trunk of a car and taught us kids how to pack a trunk of a car, and be surprised at how much stuff you can actually get into a trunk of a car if you could pack it correctly. And then years later, Tetris came out, and for me, it was like a no-brainer because I'd already been doing that with stuff in the car. So we watched her do this, and then she goes and puts the plastic container on the back seat of the car, empty. But she took everything out of the brass container and then filled it with the shopping bags, and all the other little trinkets were throughout the thing. And I'm like thinking, and I bet they're not even packed and wrapped or anything. Oh, yeah. It was an amusing 15 minutes. Then the store opened, so Brandon and the boys went off into the store. I didn't want to go in a gaming store. And they were in there probably about 20 minutes, and they came back and they each had a box of Pokemon cards. So then when it was off to the bike store to get their bikes fixed. And so again, I sat in the car because I didn't really have a need to be in a bike store. And the kids were inside the bike store and all of that. And the next thing we know, we're leaving probably about 40 minutes. Oh, hang on. Yeah, probably about 40 to 50 minutes later. I think we were there almost an hour, and the kids all had new bikes. It was cheaper to replace the bikes than it was to repair them. And the old bikes got traded in on the new bikes, which is kind of cool. They had this trade-up program for kids bikes, and so that was pretty cool. Then we went to Bodine's SF, which is a branch of the Bodines in San Francisco down there at Fisherman's Wharf. They have a shop there where they do sandwiches and baked goods and all that sort of stuff. So I had a BLTA, which was really good. It was on sourdough, and it came with a bag of chips or a house salad. I thought I haven't had chips in months, so I'm having some chips. And it was really good. I was like, this is a nice little treat. So the kids all had pizzas. Brandon had what he had. I had what I had. And then after that, we went home, and the kids were going to go and ride their bikes around the yard and stuff, but it lasted all of 5 minutes. And then they came inside, and everybody was kind of tired. So it was kind of like a quiet time for everybody. And we had a nice quiet time. And then Nadia arrived home, and she'd had a really good afternoon out with her friends and stuff. And then we just had like normal evening activities, feeding the kids. Of course, Sunday night football was on. I turned that when I got told I could turn it off if I wanted to. That remote got turned off pretty quickly because it was Seattle versus Washington, and it was a landslide towards Seattle. I don't know it was halftime. They just come back from halftime when everybody's gone off to bed. So here I am sitting here, and I'm probably going to go and have some dinner. Is it really 9 o'clock? Oh, for whatever reason, my clock on my computer has not changed. Interesting. Probably because it still thinks it's now in Arizona. Probably. Yeah, so I'm going to probably go and have a little something to eat, and then it's probably going to be an early bedtime for me. I might go through a couple of my boxes or whatever. I do have some documents that need to be scanned, and then I can shred the originals because I'll still have it's just for records. I don't need to have the paper copy. An electronic copy would be fine. So if I can get away with that sort of stuff, that would be awesome. So tomorrow the kids are going to school, and so I'll have that time while they're at school to go through my stuff. And I've got some of the stuff here. I've still got some more stuff in the car, and I'm going to get through as much stuff as I can in the morning, and then the afternoon is going to be repacking stuff and making sure I stay within weights and working out what I'm going to need to ship. So yeah, it's going to be a full busy day, but it's a stress-free day because I don't have to get out of the house. I'm down to 4 sleeps. And and tonight the kids have reading time in the evenings where they sit and read before they go to bed. And Cohen came downstairs, and he is only 4, and he read the entire book of Hop on Pop to me. And it was so much joy that he loves to read. And the fact that he sat there with me and he read to me the entire book of Hop on Pop. I was so proud of him. He's only 4, and he read the entire book to me. And he'd get to a page and goes, "I don't know these words, Grandma." And I said, "What's this one?" And he goes, "Tell me what the word is." And I said, "Okay, so what's this one?" And of course, I might change just the first letters, but it's the same. It's the rhyming thing that goes. And so I said, "Just sound it out." I said, "It sounds like that word, but with a different letter at the beginning." And so he'd sound it out. And the next thing he was like off reading it again. And he even read Constantinople and Istanbul, but I suspect he's memorized those ones from previous readings. But yeah, my 4-year-old grandson was reading to me tonight. It was awesome. It's just those little moments. We had an up and down day with the kids, and but it's just those little. It was those little moments as we're going through the day that you capture and you keep in your heart for when you need to recall that later. So yeah, it's going to be tough on Tuesday morning. We'll have to say goodbye to the boys for a while because I won't see them again until April next year. So yeah, I'm already planning trips back to the US for next year. But anyway, take those times just to enjoy those moments. And I think I have. Yes, I have reflection questions. Number 1, what simple moments brought you joy today that you might have overlooked? Number 2, how does time spent with loved ones shift your focus from doing to being? Oh, I love that. I like being in the moment with the kids, with the grandkids, because being in the moment, being present with them, it shows them that you pay attention to them, you recognize them, you know them, you are acknowledging them. And it's just a lot of, these are great kids. They are great kids. When was the last time you paused to simply observe and enjoy life happening around you? Well, today was a great example of that. The last few weeks, I've been so caught up with everything with the move and getting myself stressed out and working and all of that, working around work and all of that. So I've got 3 weeks off. I was meant to be 2, but it's gone into 3. And I'll be back at work next week. Yeah, back at work on Monday morning. Although it'll be Tuesday in New Zealand. My week is going to be Tuesday through Saturday. And then my weekend is Sunday, Monday. So that's going to be kind of cool. What everyday memories do you want to carry with you as part of your story? What do you want to do as part of your story? It's been an awesome trip. Oh, and I checked on the rental status this morning, and there, mentioned that there was a house across the road from my mum and dad that had sold, and then went up as a rental. It's no longer on the rent list, so I think it's been rented. It's like, darn. And then the house on the other side of my parents, which is a 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom, which is too small for me, that's been on the market, and they had a deadline sale end of today. So all offers had to be in by the end of today, and they were going to choose one. So that's that. So the house across the street and on either side of my parents have all gone, sold. So I won't be renting the place across the road from mum and dad. So I still have to keep looking, and actually go have a look at a couple of rentals and see what's going on with those. But anyway, with that, I am out of here. Go out, have a super fantastic, sparkling evening. I'm down to 4 sleeps before my flight. Yay. I still have a lot to do. I have a lot of people to see before I go. So we'll see how things go and go from there. So go out, have a super fantastic, sparkling evening, and we'll catch you guys back here tomorrow evening as close to 6 o'clock as I can. This was as close as I could get.